Thenmozhi, I'm so far that I could pronounce her first name, but I'm unable to pronounce the second name. So give me some help.
It's Thenmozhi Soundarajaran.
Okay. Thenmozhi came quite a way. She's coming from California. We met actually 2 months ago in Los Angeles on the DIY Summit at the University of Southern California. And I saw a couple of her videos. And a few weeks ago, I was sitting together with Markus, the organizer here of Republica. And he was asking me if I know somebody on the video at Republica. On Friday, we will have a video summit. So here you are, came all the way over from California. I think it's your second time in Berlin.
It's my second time.
What are your impressions? Just give us some ideas. What have you done? What have you seen so far?
Well, I love that I've split my time between the conference and being able to kind of go out in Berlin. And I feel as an artist, all things are possible in Berlin. You just have this like magical energy that you don't have in a lot of cities. And so I think that if you're an artist, you have to at least spend one weekend in Berlin, which was my first experience. I was here for this event called Dropping Knowledge for 3 days, and I knew I had to come back.
So you're speaking on Friday. What is the topic of your talk, and what are you going to show the people?
Well, it's about video blogging and citizen blogging in particular. And a lot of what I was going to talk about was the use of imagination in the fight for self-determination. And one of the quotes I was going to talk about was, if you can't imagine yourself free, how can you even really begin to fight for freedom? And this was the conversation we had earlier about your worldview and how do you know what you don't know and what's possible. And I think that's what's really amazing when you see people pick up a camera and talk about their stories. They, of course, first repeat what they've always heard about themselves, but then there's this magical tipping point where they end up actually reclaiming their narratives, reclaiming their space, and therefore they're political engagement,
Yeah. So do you have any particular project you're working on right now, what you're going to get done?
Well, I think I was going to talk about some of the work that we're doing in Third World Majority and some of the next stages of our civic engagement as it relates to Third World media making. And then also, you
just come a little bit closer.
You know what I've been talking about is my sci-fi Bollywood project. Because revolutionaries like to party too.
Yeah. So you also met Inga von Staden
That's right.
2 weeks ago and 2 days ago, and you were talking about maybe co-producing something, or do you see any potential here in Berlin?
Well, I mean, I think that, like I said before, it feels like all things are possible as an artist, and I really hadn't actually thought about looking at Berlin and looking at Germany as a co-producing partner for the film, but the history of co-producing in Germany is very international, and I think a project like this that has such a global scope, because it looks at globalization and its impact of Bombay as a new hub for the global economy, I think would be awesome,
So what is your relation to India? Of course, you're not born in India, aren't you? No, you're Native American.
No, I was born in East LA.
Woo, East LA.
But my family's untouchable, and we're from one of the lowest castes in India, and we've always done political organizing for our community. And untouchables are over 300 million people in India, and are one of the most politically repressed groups in history, and have continued to fight against that oppression.
So do you still have a close relationship to India?
Of course, yeah. We go back. I go back often, and I support movements there, and I've done a lot of work with social movements in the U.S. I mean, in India. So, for example, we were very heavily involved with the World Social Forum in Mumbai, and we support many national Dalit groups there.
Okay, so you've been here today for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't speak German. The conference is very, very. It's not really English speaking, but. What are your impressions? What do you take home at the end of the day?
Well, what I thought was very funny was I actually haven't been to a blogging web conference in about a year or 2 years, which might be really 5 years. It's like dog year. And to me, I was really curious to hear what people were talking about in terms of Web 2.0 and blogging beyond a textual medium, and how people were looking at integrating perspectives from within that context, So, and I was also really interested in the division between corporate and private, corporate and public spheres within the internet? Because I know one of the panel that we were talking, that we met at, there was this real issue of looking at public dialogue on the internet while recognizing it was still a very private and commodified and insecure space. So I was curious how Republica talked about it. And I was curious, have you heard or seen any speakers who have
Actually, I haven't seen anything today because we're just down here getting, people ready for. So, yes, if it's possible, we would love to speak to you on Friday night after you talk and see, give us just the end of the show.
The beginning, the end.
Okay, will be great. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Bye, Ulrike.
Bye.
Good luck with the interviews.